Hey yo, welcome to yet another direct action gaming session. My name is Sean, and today we are continuing our Capital Wasteland adventure with the Wastelander lady who is just running around doing all kinds of things, failing many skill tests and getting addicted to Day Tripper, while also wearing a lab coat. Yep, that's what's going on. So before we get too deep into the action here, oh gosh, where's my phone? Phone. Sorry about that. Before we get too deep into the action, I just want to remind anyone new to the channel about some of the ways that you can help if you dig what I'm doing here. In the description of this video, there are a couple of links. One of them is for my Ko-fi page. I do have a page on Ko-fi, that's Ko-Fi. If you are feeling generous and you like what I'm doing here, you can throw me a few bucks over there to help the channel out. I am also on Blue Sky, and if you would like to know what kind of stuff I'm working on in the background here for the channel, you can see what I'm posting over there. You can chat with me as well. That is a thing that you can do. The link is in the description. And finally, you can like the video. If you do, you can comment if you have any sort of feedback, and you can also subscribe to the channel, of course. All of those are free and easy ways to help support the channel if you like what I'm doing here. Beyond all that, okay, let's get started again. We're going to start our timer. That's why I had to grab my phone. We don't want this to drag on too long. Mistakes were made last time, as usual. Not surprising, right? Flubbed a couple of things. Primarily, there was that previous Vault quest, Vault Rumors. The first option was kill any humanoid. We definitely did kill some humanoids, and the first time I had done that should have triggered that option 1, which scores us an agenda card and unlocks this new card, number 68, Signs of Life. So that is a thing that has happened. I gained an additional agenda card. We now have 3 of them. The new one is called Know It All, and we're going to get bonuses for exploring the map. So we are currently sitting at 3 influence. We can get 2 additional influence if we have 0 unexplored tiles. So let's just go and do the thing that we were going to do anyway. And let me tell you, if I don't start getting some freedom cards here soon, we might consider just switching sides to the Enclave, so we can actually win. Another thing I kind of messed up on a little bit was apparently there are some slight differences that you're supposed to take into account when you're playing solo. So the time advancement of the various factions only happens, well, you only move the less powerful faction. You do not move both of them. So basically I just moved the Brotherhood back 1 space. So the Brotherhood now has to advance 4 spaces before they have conquered the Wasteland, and we lose the game without enough influence. So yeah, it basically says when we reshuffle agenda, we only move the less powerful faction. If they are tied, then they both move forward. Precisely 1 space. Okay, so with all that in mind, What I think we are going to do is we're going to discard that perk we got last time, Action Girl. We're going to get rid of that, throw that in the perk pile. And that means we're going to be able to do 4 actions this turn, and I think that means we're going to book it. 1, 2, that's 1 move action. 1, 2, that's 2 move actions. So now we're back at Megaton, and we still have 2 actions left. So I think what we're going to do is, first of all, a settlement encounter. We're going to do a settlement encounter. I'm going to take the top one and see what it says. And this is 005. This is a continuation of that Wasteland encounter that we had done earlier. So, as you pass through the crowd, you see a familiar face. She's far older, but there's no mistaking her. She has to be Margaret, the girl from the photograph found in the Wasteland. So we have 2 options here. 1, we can approach Margaret and tell her about the dead man in the Wasteland. That is a Charisma 3 test. We can also leave her alone and just go shopping. On one hand, I would like to go shopping, but on the other hand, we might as well attempt to get some reward for that thing that we did last time, looking at the dead guy. Okay, so we have to pass a Charisma 3 test for option 1 here. Tests. I'm so good at those. But we do have Charisma, so that is 1 reroll, and we also have Well Rested. So there are 2 rerolls we can do. We aren't going to get that extra point from Day Tripper because that's been exhausted, and we're going to need to spend 1 cap to unexhaust it. So we might consider that at some point, but for the moment, it is just still exhausted. What do we get? We get 3 points. So for once, yeah, we immediately pass it. That's dope. All right, we passed the little charisma test for option 1. We have a very charismatic Wastelander here. Succeed. As you tell Margaret about the man, you can see she has been expecting this news for some time. She says, "That's my brother. We came out here to search for our father. When my brother didn't return, I feared the worst. I suppose my father likely met the same fate out there somewhere." She thanks you for the information as she idly grasps a bird pendant around her neck. Okay. So what we get for this is 3 caps, 3 XP, and we add 006. Okay. This also means we can't do another encounter this turn. You only can do 1 encounter per turn at a location. But 3 caps, so 1, 2, 3. So we're getting the caps back that we had to spend over at that raider camp. That information about the shady doctor. And we do get 3 XP, so we're going to move along the track here to C, I, and A. That means 3 more points, and we're going to level up again. Okay. And we get to add 006, and we remove this card from the game. So where is 006? It's in the top pile here. Alright, and 006 is a Wasteland encounter. Alright, so we are removing this card from the game. And just like last time, we're going to take 1 card off the top of the Wasteland encounter deck. We're going to shuffle them around a little bit so I have no idea which one is which, and we're going to put them back on top of the Wasteland encounter deck. So the next thing in this little saga will happen. Once we do another encounter, perhaps. Alright, so that was that. Now, to be honest, I had planned on doing that because I thought it might be a good idea to shop and recruit the Protectron, because we do have intelligence, and if we have a companion, we can just sort of crack into Vault 84 just like that with the companion. But what we can also do is perform a quest action here and take another test. This time it's an IL4 test, intelligence and luck. We have both of those, and we still have well rested. And if we pass this, we get yet another agenda card. So we will finally have a full agenda deck. So let's try this. Let's try option 1 in Signs of Life. We're going to read this card. I don't think I read it yet. It says the raiders had one of the Vault Dwellers' wrist-mounted computers on them. With this, you should be able to contact the people on the inside of the vault or interact with its computer. And so since we're selecting for the moment option 1, at least we're going to attempt this, it says there are some supposed exiles from the vault around town. One of them might be able to show you how to use the Pip-Boy. So we are going to attempt to use our intelligence and luck to go around town to see if some vault exile will help us use the Pip-Boy to crack into the vault. We need 4 points. Let's see what we get on the first roll. And all we get is 2. Alright, so that is our first roll. We get a grand total of 3 rerolls this time. So, do I keep my 2 points and then roll the third one to try and get 2 points on that? Or do I just do a full-on reroll? Let's grab 2 die. We'll keep at least 1 point, and then we'll reroll 2 more die. So we are expending We're doing an intelligence reroll. How many more points do we get this time? We still only get 1 point. Okay. Oh! During a test that uses intelligence, add 1 hit. So we do get 1 extra free hit for having the lab coat. I'm glad I noticed that and remembered that. Okay. So we really only need to score 3 here in order to pass this test. With that in mind, I think we're going to use luck and see if we can get at least 1 more point with this other die. And we do. We get 4, so we have definitely passed the test now. We didn't have to expend well rested. Okay. So, for Signs of Life, we have passed the test. We convinced some exile to help us use the Pip-Boy to crack into the vault. We get another agenda card, and we add 71 and get rid of this card. So let's draw the top agenda card, and it says, hey! Freedom! We finally got a freedom card, which means we now have 5 influence, because the Brotherhood is 1 space in front of, well, the Enclave. We can also declare loyalty to the Brotherhood now. We can totally do that. Let's consult the book again real quick just to double check and make sure how that works. You can only have 1 agenda card revealed in this way. If you reveal a new agenda card for loyalty, you must return the previously revealed card to your hand. You may also pick up a revealed agenda card at the start of your turn to withdraw your loyalty. Okay, so it says you can just do that on your turn. It doesn't say it costs an action or anything like that. We can just switch our loyalty to the Brotherhood now that we do have a freedom card. And we're going to do that. Okay. So, yes, we got that agenda card, and we add 71 now. Where is 71? It's in the top deck. It's confusing a little bit. Let's rearrange this. 71, where are you? 71. Okay, this is an encounter, actually. Okay. So, we take Signs of Life, we trash this, and this is very likely a Vault 84 encounter. Okay. So what that means is, now, we're taking Vault 84, this card, and putting it as a brand new encounter deck of precisely one card. And now we're not going to be able to do that encounter unless we wander our way back to Vault 84. So we can potentially do that. It's not going to happen right now though. And that's our turn, because we've done 4 things. That was that final quest action. That is what we got. All right, so let us draw another agenda card and see what things activate. Humanoid. All right, so let's see here. We're going to get a Raider Scum moving a little bit closer to us. We're going to get a Looter doing the same thing, moving to Hoffman Farm. These 2 humanoids are going to activate at the Super Duper Mart and the Raider Camp. Okay, and that's what happens there. All right, cool. And we've got 1 agenda card left in the pile. So that means time is going to advance on us once again. When it does, Enclave is going to move forward, and we're going to lose that bonus point. So, with that in mind, we're going to want to advance things for the Brotherhood. That means finding Vault 109, y'all. So here we go. New turn. I suppose we might as well start with revealing this section here. So we're going to spend an action to explore this tile. And we get Pendleton Estate. And another monster spawns on the map. That is a glowing one by Pendleton Estate. Okay. Alright, Pendleton Estate is yet another level 3 settlement. That is pretty much right next to Megaton. Alright. It's not quite what we're looking for, though. So we have 1 more action left. We could do another settlement encounter. See if we can recruit that Protectron, and we do have a lot of stuff we could sell too. So let's do another settlement encounter. That'll be our second action. Let's grab the top card here. And it says, a shouting match is just beginning when you arrive in the town square. He openly admitted to being a synth. A young man shrinks away from a crowd as it grows hostile. We have 3 options. Number 1, forced if you are a synth. Well, we aren't, so we get to ignore that. Option 2, don't get involved and go to the market. We just get to shop. Okay. Let's see. Number 3 is convince the crowd that there is nothing to fear. There is a CI4 test involved. Okay. I think we're going for 2. We're just not going to get involved. We're just going to shop. So that is what we're going to do. All right. And that means we get to shop 3 times. We get 3 actions because we're at level 3. All right. We get to do 3 things. We're putting this at the bottom of the settlement encounter. What do we do? I would like to recruit Protectron. That would be one thing. And we could also sell two things. We could sell the tire iron and probably the magazine. So that's probably what we are going to do. We're going to recruit Protectron. So we now have a companion. Protectron says, before a fight, exhaust to increase your armor by 2 during that fight. Okay. It says, if there is an enemy in an adjacent space, keep this companion when it unexhausts. Okay, so this means we can use Protectron, especially if we're getting shot at, to drastically increase our armor up to 3. We would have to exhaust him, but if we do this for when we're getting shot at, we can still keep him rather than having to toss him out. And I guess this means, like, he can take a lot of range damage, but if you expect him to protect you in melee, he's going to get smushed. So, alright. There's that. And 2 more things. We're going to get 7 minus 2 is, well, 5. So we get rid of these 2 things, tire iron and guns and bullets. We're going to put these in the discard pile, but we're going to net 5 additional caps for selling those things. So that was our little shopping trip. Cool. And that is our turn. So what we do now is we draw this final agenda card, and we get a shield, creature, and robot. Still no robots on the map, but now that we have switched sides to the Brotherhood, the Enclave soldier is going to move closer to us, and creatures are going to move. So the Stingwing moves a little bit closer to us. Let's see. The Rad Scorpion is going to move into our space and attack us. So we do get attacked by a Rad Scorpion. Let's see. Stingwing moves down here, as does the Feral Ghoul. They move into the same space. And we have a Mole Rat over here that also moves down that way. Okay. Cool, so that's what happened there, and now we need to resolve a fight with this Rad Scorpion. So, we're looking for limbs. We got our combat knife. We've got 2 rerolls, 2 agility rerolls that we can do. We gotta keep in mind that we are going to be suffering damage if we get leg hits. Any leg hits, and we suffer 1 additional damage by using this combat knife. And we do get 1 hit for 2 damage. So we could just take that to take him out. And since it's level 1, that's just 2 damage. We absorb 1 damage from our lab coat. So yeah, we're taking 1 damage, but we take the Rad Scorpion out. That's basically how that works. So we're down to 6. Oh boy, we are low here. Okay. Oh, and another thing I was supposed to do when we were shopping is put another card down. Oh my goodness, and it's a stim pack. Whew. I need that stim pack in my life. Alright. So, here's what happens. We kill the Rad Scorpion for 1 XP. Boom. Rad Scorpion is gone now. We put it at the bottom of the creature pile. We take another one and put 1 right there. Boom. That's what happens with that. Alright, beginning of a new turn. What we can do now, I think, we are almost certainly going to do yet another settlement encounter. So, we're going to start the turn off that way. Pull another settlement encounter card. This one says you pass several people in the settlement when you hear an angry voice. You stupid mutt. You look over in time to see a woman kicking her dog. So we have 3 options. Option 1 is forced if you are idolized. We are not, so that is not an option. Option 2, make this asshole stop. We would have to pass an SC4 test. We can also do option 3, let it go and go shopping. I kind of hate to do this, but we're going to go for option 3. I know this is the dog meat thing, and we already have a companion that is kind of sort of more useful than dog meat. Like Protectron is going to be our bullet shield pretty much, so that's kind of cool. We're going to let it go and go shopping. And what that means is we do get to shop. It just says you can hear the woman still cursing at the poor animal as you walk the other way. We put this at the bottom of the settlement encounter deck, so there's no reason we can't get another chance to help this poor dog at some point. But for now, we're going to go shopping. So we can do yet another 3 shop actions. Let's see. We definitely want to buy the stim pack for 1. That is an aid item, so that will count as our to our inventory. Jet would not, because that's a drug. We could just take that and shove it into one of our lab coat pockets. How many caps do we have? We've got, let's see, 6 plus 5 is 11, and we have 3 shopping actions. All right. So we could maybe buy 2 things and sell the junk. Could also sell the buff out. The buff out doesn't really help us right now. Buff out is for a test that uses S or E. We do not have strength or endurance. So I might sell the buff out to get 2 caps. Whereas if I sold the junk, we would only get 1 cap. And 1 more junk would allow us to like get a free thing. So we might hang on to this junk for now. Alright, so that's what we'll do. We will spend 5 plus 4 caps to get 2 things. And we will get 2 caps back. Meaning we still have 4 caps. But we need to discard buff out. And we will get... I forgot once again to add a new thing. And that new thing is a plasma gun. But we take away stim pack and jet. So we now have plasma gun, Radaway, and Curie. And we add yet another new thing, because there always needs to be at least 4 things in the shop. It's a sniper rifle. Okay, we got some weapons in the shop now. But we also have a stim pack, which we will probably almost certainly use, and we have jet. Jet is pretty cool. During a test or fight, exhaust to change 1 die result to a different face. So you can basically slow down time and just get whatever result you want on 1 die. That's kind of cool. But we can potentially become addicted to jet as well, and this card is more expensive to unexhaust. It's going to be 2 caps instead of just 1 if we become addicted. Well, we kind of already are addicted, though. We kind of already have the addicted trait. So I wonder if that means that we just automatically fail. I don't know. Right, it says if you are addicted, which we are, you cannot discard this card, and it costs 2 caps to unexhaust. So we're going to have to pay money to be able to use our drugs again until we get rid of this addicted thing some kind of way. All right, so that was the shopping action from our settlement encounter. What is the next thing that we should do? Still looking for Vault 109. We could... could try to... If we kill that Deathclaw, we would get another agenda card and 5 caps. That would be kind of cool. All right, here is the action we're going to do. We're going to move into these mountains to the south of Megaton, and next turn we're going to probably do 2 explores to see what's in both of these. So that's our turn. We have to reshuffle this agenda deck, and we also need to move shield forward 1 space so that they are tied with the Brotherhood. And what that means is they are both of these enemies are now level 2. Enclave soldiers are also level 2 now. So that's what happens there. All right. Taking a new agenda card, and we get shield, creature, and robot. So shield moves forward another space. We get creatures on the move again. So let's see. Stingwing moves into the same space as a Deathclaw here. Why is this Nuka-Cola cap there? Let's see. Stingwing. We have another Stingwing and a Feral Ghoul that both move into these woods by Hoffman Farm. Yes, that's the alarm. Mole Rat moves down. This one activates. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of creatures in that forest there. Nothing actually attacks us, though. Alright, so that is the end of this particular session. Cool. Once again, we didn't move that far, did we? We just did a whole bunch of stuff in Megaton. But wow, we got a lot of things. We got some shopping done. We got a bullet sponge robot now. That's all pretty cool. We're still a junkie though, so there's also that. But we are finally allied to the Brotherhood. We don't have any bonus agenda just yet, since the Enclave and the Brotherhood are both tied at the moment. So we want to try to really push the Brotherhood ahead, because we will get bonus points for each one of those. But before we do that, we want to make sure we also definitely reveal the map, because that'll give us 2 influence, putting us up to 6, and we'll just need 5 influence to win the game. We can potentially get 3 bonus points if we move the Brotherhood 3 spaces forward beyond the Enclave. Oh boy. Alright, we'll see how this all pans out, y'all. But this one is over for now. So, thank you kindly if you made it all the way to the end. Take care of each other. Take it easy, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one.